So I'm delighted to have a guest here today from Stereo Fire. Could you give your name a wee introduction and your role in the band?
Hi, I'm Leah, and I am the lead singer and rhythm guitarist for Stereo Fire.
That's fantastic, Leah. You've just released your new single, I Listened to Arctic Monkeys, on the 5th of March. The track's great. How did it come about?
Um, it was just really a brainstorm idea. Like it just came to me randomly. I was just sitting in my bed one day, and I was like, "This is a great wee chord progression I have going on in my head." And then the lyrics just kind of wrote itself. I've never wrote a song quite like it in the way that it was more of a story. Um,
Aye.
So, and then like the verses, it's like one of them kind of tunes that the verses are more complex than the chorus. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something I really liked about writing that song.
Was it easy for the words to kind of just fall into place?
Weirdly, yeah, it was because I wasn't writing about anything in particular. When I write, it's just kind of random words. I don't know what I'm writing about at all most of the time. So it was just all random and it all just kind of flowed.
On the track itself, is it usually kind of comes up with the idea first and foremost, or is it like a joint project between the band?
I I'm the one that starts writing the song, so I'll come up with the rhythm, like the chord progressions and the lyrics, and then I'll take it to the boys. And obviously, I can't really write like drums and stuff. I'll try, but I'm not the best at it, so I'll get the boys to come in and help me finish it. Really, so
Mm-hmm.
it is a team effort, but I always start with the lyrics.
I always find it funny when bands are working together, and obviously, like, you'll have certain expertise that they don't, and vice versa. And when you're saying to somebody, like, for example, a drummer, they're like, I've got this idea in my head, and the drums kind of go like, do, 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 and they're looking at you like, what? And you're trying to explain, like, the vision you've got in your head, but you can't convey it. It's like knowing a different language.
Mhm.
So, if I'm correct, Stereo Fire formed in 2019, and you're now in the process of recording and releasing new music. Has your sound and ideas developed over the time you've been together?
They have when we first started playing together, it was really cheesy songs that I had written, like when I just started like teaching myself to write music, and they were god awful. They were really terrible. So over time we've all kind of put our influences together and created our own sound, which is still developing, but thankfully it's getting better and better for for our sake. So we have developed a lot from the start.
And it's something I've noticed as well we use is that your images kind of come in and kind of combining with the music that you're creating, which I love. So it's good, like, for when a band has its kind of subconscious brand behind it, you can put an image beside the band, you know what I mean? And I think that
Mhm.
you're doing that really well.
With our image, it's just kind of a good mix of Aaron, who's our drummer, and Gibbs, who's the lead guitarist. They're kind of more stereotypical indie
Mm-hmm.
people, whereas me and Luca are known as the goths of the band. So the kind of two mix well for our sound. Really, it's two that you wouldn't normally put together, but somehow it mixes great.
How is it that you kind of collaborate with each other? Is it quite done in a better manner than was at the beginning?
Oh, we've all clicked from the start. Like we've all worked together so great. Normally because they've learned it just to listen to me because I get so frustrated when I'm trying to explain something and they don't know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, so they just kind of go with everything. We all work really well together. We all listen to each other, and even though we're all completely different people, um, we're all really similar at the same time, which
Aye.
which kind of goes well when we're writing, and there'll be songs we all relate to, like feelings wise or whatever. Like we can all put our like heart and soul into performing.
Mm-hmm. And see, in terms of like when you've created the song and you've obviously got an idea of the way you want the song to come across. Say, for example, somebody else in the band says, I think we should change this part. Are you quite like, do you hold on to the way they want the song to be? Are you quite open to changing the ideas? Is it kind of like what you say goes?
Oh no, it's fully open. It's like I'll just, as I said at the start, like I'll just come in with a rough idea of lyrics, and and chords, and then say like over time when we're playing it. We have a song called Ultraviolet, for example, and over time we have this massive build up at the start for an intro, and like Luca came up with the idea of like putting a breakdown in it, and then there was another song, like say Gibbs wanted to change like the chord progressions at some points. Like it's all just everybody puts in what they can, and we all change and adapt for each other. It's all a team effort. I just come up with the lyrics and stuff and then see what everybody says.
See, like when I listen to your music, I can hear like kind of rock anthems similar to like bands like Sum 41 and Good Charlotte and that. It's really energizing and it's properly addicting to listen to. What other influences would you say you've had?
A lot of like pop punk bands, as you said, like say Good Charlotte, Sum 41, Blink 182, Green Day. I started listening to them when I got into like academy, like secondary school. That was
Mm-hmm.
it. But when I was growing up, I was raised on like my mum and dad were pure like mods, so I was raised on like the Jam and the Who and bands like
Sex
that.
Pistols and
hmm And obviously throughout time I found like more grunge music and like new wave pop punk things like bands like The Regrets and Swimmers and people like that. And I seen these smaller bands from like California and things, and I was like, I want to be like them. They're really cool. Their sound and their messages are really cool.
it's really interesting as well because see, like when, for example, you're growing up and you've got family that grew up on a certain band or artist, or like for example, in your case, the mod music. There's a quite interesting point in your own life where you start to come into your own sense of what you like as well. And sometimes people don't really ever get around to that. Like they're always stuck on their roots, say listening to like for example, like growing up on the Beatles or I don't know, Bob Dylan or whatever, like they never really changed for that. So see like once you be able to kind of appreciate like modern sounding music as well and the production that's behind it, it can be really, really important for creating songs that you're making right now, you know.
hmm
So how has the lockdown been for Stereofighter creatively?
It's been pretty tough trying to write when you're just stuck in the same four walls because
Mm-hmm.
there's no creativity. There's no like there's nothing flowing when you're just when you're staring at the same white walls for like 24 hours a day. Because normally we have our best ideas when we're practicing at the local studios, and that's when
Mm-hmm.
we'll create our proper punk sounding tracks, and it will just be full of energy. But when I'm sitting in the house myself, just strumming an acoustic guitar, it always ends up quite soppy. I'm like, I can't take that to the band. That's not our vibe. So create like, creating music and writing has been pretty difficult, but we're still going ahead with things and getting songs done slowly but surely.
Are you staying like any like Zoom calls or whatnot, or are you just like phoning each other or whatnot with the kind of music you're creating?
It's more like emails back and forth of like small sound files. It's like, what's this idea? Or even Snapchat videos into group chats. It's like, how about this riff or this chord progression or whatever. It's just kind of like finding any way we can to communicate with each other.
So what are your plans this year then with Stereofire?
Definitely to release more music, probably looking at releasing an EP. That's been something we've spoke about a lot and we've been wanting to plan. So I don't know for sure, but I know there will be new music coming. If that's an EP sometime in the near future, then I'll be really pleased. But um, so alongside new music, I'm hoping that when we get back to normality, we'll be able to play as many gigs as we can, even if they're
Right.
like socially distanced, like small gigs, or even going busking per se, just to actually get out there and share our live music would be absolutely amazing to do.
See, in terms of the tracks that you put on Spotify, see they were classed as demos, so do you plan on like re-releasing them again or what? Or
Yeah, with Metaphor, that was a track that I just recorded everything in my bedroom, and then the lead guitar, I was able to go around to Gibbs's, and we sat around his back garden with my laptop balanced on a little bucket, and he recorded the lead guitar. But then with Alice and Arctic Monkeys, we were able to go into the college studios, but and again, it wasn't proper studio like quality. So we're
Mhm.
hoping that when everything's eased a bit, we'll be able to get into a proper studio and get proper versions of the songs done.
Aye, no, hopefully so, and hopefully you're not going to be waiting too much longer for that.
Hmm.
Aye, so it's been great having you on, Leah. How can we find Stereofire online?
You can get us at Stereofire Official on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find us on YouTube, just Stereofire, and then on all major streaming platforms.
Brilliant, that's fantastic, Leah. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.